10. Niger. Niger State is largely an agricultural state, with major crops like millet, sorghum, and cowpea forming the backbone of its economy. The state has also invested in infrastructure to boost economic growth, such as the Bero River Port and Minna Airport. Despite these efforts, Niger faces significant challenges in education and healthcare, especially in rural areas, where access to these services is limited. Unemployment rates remain high, adding to the state's economic difficulties. Security issues, including banditry and kidnapping, are also a growing concern, particularly in rural regions where law enforcement is often weak. However, to guarantee long-term growth, the state must expand its industrial base and improve security. 9. Bayelsa. Bayelsa is primarily known as an oil-producing state, but it faces notable challenges in its development. Environmental degradation caused by oil exploration has been a major problem, along with social unrest linked to youth militancy and unemployment. However, the state has invested in infrastructure projects like the Bayelsa International Airport and the Bayelsa Power Plant to boost economic growth. But, access to quality education and healthcare remains limited, especially in rural areas, making it harder for many residents to improve their lives. Unemployment is a big issue, particularly among the youth, which has contributed to restiveness and security challenges. The government's priority is to alter the economy beyond oil and gas to create more jobs and improve social services. Developing sectors like agriculture, tourism, and small-scale industries is essential for long-term growth. Although Bayelsa has abundant natural resources, managing these effectively while improving social services and creating employment opportunities will be key to the state's future prosperity. 8. Ogun. Ogun State is one of Nigeria's key industrial hubs. Its proximity to Lagos, Nigeria's commercial capital, makes it an attractive destination for investors. Major manufacturing companies like Dangote Cement, Lafarge Africa, and Procter & Gamble have set up operations in Ogun, boosting its industrial growth. The state government has also invested in infrastructure projects, such as the Ogun-Guangdong Free Trade Zone and the Agro-Cargo Airport, which are designed to attract even more investment. Education is a strong point in Ogun, with several universities and polytechnics located in the state. Yet, the state faces challenges related to healthcare, with access and quality varying across regions. Urbanization is another concern, as rapid industrial growth has led to environmental degradation in some areas. Ogun's development depends on balancing industrial expansion with sustainable practices to protect the environment. Ogun's continued success will require careful planning to ensure that industrial growth benefits everyone and that environmental concerns are addressed. 7. Ondo. Ondo State is also a developed state in Nigeria with a GDP of $12.63 billion, boasts a diverse economy that includes agriculture, manufacturing, and services. Agriculture is a key focus, with products like cocoa, palm oil, and cassava being processed at the Ondolini Industrial Hub. This hub is a joint venture between the state and Lini City in China, which supports agricultural processing and contributes to economic growth. Ondo has also invested heavily in education, and the state is home to several universities and polytechnics. Despite its economic achievements, the state faces challenges, such as high unemployment and varying access to healthcare services across different regions. Ondo also has to address security issues, with cases of kidnapping and banditry posing risks to its residents and businesses. While Ondo has made progress in many areas, focusing on safety, employment, and healthcare will be vital for its continued development. 6. Anambra. Anambra has a GDP of $12.73 billion and is positioning itself as a manufacturing and logistics hub in Nigeria. Under the leadership of Governor Chukwuma Soludo, the state government has focused on economic development through projects like the Anambra Industrial City Project. This massive development will include industrial, commercial, residential, and recreational spaces spread over 4,000 hectares. To attract foreign investments, Anambra has applied for a Special Economic Zone (SEZ) license from the Nigeria Export Processing Zones Authority (NEPSA). The state is working with Arise Integrated Industrial Platforms, a company known for building industrial ecosystems across Africa, to make this project a reality. Also, the state is rich in natural gas, which will be key to powering the industrial city. Education is a strength for Anambra, with numerous universities and polytechnics. However, healthcare access and quality are still a major concern, especially in rural areas. While the state has made steps in industrialization, varying its economy beyond oil and gas will be essential for sustainable development. Anambra is also focusing on expanding infrastructure to support its growing industries, but challenges remain in ensuring equal access to quality healthcare and improving other social services. 5. Delta. Delta State is also one of the most developed states in Nigeria with a GDP of $15.33 billion and is heavily reliant on its oil industry. The state has benefited from the wealth generated by oil, and this has allowed for significant investments in infrastructure, such as the Asaba International Airport and the Warri-Takpi Railway. Delta also has a strong agricultural sector, with government programs to boost the production of cassava, oil palm, and other crops. However, healthcare access is not consistent across the state, with some areas lacking good medical services. Another major issue is environmental damage caused by oil spills, which have affected local communities and farmlands. For Delta to continue its development, it will need to address these environmental issues and adjust its economy beyond oil and gas. Expanding agriculture and investing in other industries could help create jobs and reduce unemployment. Improving healthcare and education will also be essential for supporting the long-term development of Delta and providing that all residents have the opportunity to thrive. 4. Imo. Imo State has a GDP of $19.02 billion and boasts a different economy that includes manufacturing, agriculture, and services. The state has invested in infrastructure like the Imo International Cargo Airport, which boosts trade and tourism, and the Imo State University Teaching Hospital, which improves healthcare training. Education is one of Imo's strengths, with lots of universities and polytechnics offering a range of courses. However, despite these advancements, access to quality healthcare remains uneven, and the state has faced political instability and security challenges that affect its development. Unemployment and poverty levels are still high, and many people struggle to make a living. To move forward, Imo must focus on attracting more investment, creating job opportunities, and addressing security concerns. By improving social services like healthcare and education, Imo can better support its residents and build a stronger, more stable economy. It will also be important for the state to encourage more industries to grow, ensuring that the economy remains diverse and resilient. 3. Akwa Ibom. Akwa Ibom is one of the most developed states in Nigeria with a GDP of $19.25 billion, largely due to its oil production. The state has invested heavily in infrastructure to support its economy, with projects like the Ibom International Airport, the Ibom Power Plant, and the Ibom Science Park. Agriculture is also an important sector for Akwa Ibom, with programs designed to increase the production of cassava, rice, and other crops. Education is a priority, and the state has several universities and polytechnics that aim to improve the skills of its residents. However, healthcare remains an issue, with uneven access to medical services across different parts of the state. Unemployment also poses a challenge, as many people struggle to find stable jobs outside the oil and gas industry. The key to Akwa Ibom's long-term growth lies in diversifying its economy beyond oil. Focusing on industries like agriculture and manufacturing could help create jobs and reduce the state's dependence on oil revenue. Improving healthcare and education will also be important to ensure that all citizens have access to the resources they need to succeed. 2. Rivers. Rivers State has a GDP of $19.27 billion, and it is a major player in Nigeria's economy, especially in the oil and gas sector. The state capital, Port Harcourt, is the center of oil and gas activities, attracting huge investments from both local and foreign companies. Rivers has a diverse economy that also includes agriculture, fishing, and manufacturing. The state has been working on infrastructure development, with projects such as the Port Harcourt International Airport and the Bonibodo Road helping to improve transportation. However, education and healthcare remain key challenges in Rivers, especially in rural areas, where people have limited access to good schools and hospitals. Another major issue is environmental degradation, caused by oil spills, which have damaged farmlands and water sources. Ethnic tensions have also created insecurity in some parts of the state, slowing down development. Despite these problems, Rivers has the potential to grow by improving its social services and protecting the environment. If the state can overcome these challenges, it could continue to be one of Nigeria's most important economic centers. Read also. 1. Lagos. Lagos is Nigeria's most developed state, with a GDP of $102.01 billion, making it the country's economic hub. The state is home to a bustling commercial and financial sector, with industries such as manufacturing, telecommunications, and entertainment thriving. Lagos is also known for its informal economy, which provides millions of jobs to people. The state has made large investments in infrastructure, with major projects like the Lekki Free Trade Zone, Eco-Atlantic City, and the Lagos Light Rail project. Education is important, and Lagos has many top universities, as well as vocational training centers to help people learn new skills. However, healthcare is still a challenge, as not everyone has access to quality medical services, especially in less developed areas. Lagos also faces issues with population growth, as more people move to the city than its infrastructure can handle. This leads to overcrowding, traffic congestion, and the growth of informal settlements. For Lagos to continue developing, it must address these issues while keeping its economy strong.